I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Bowling Green Board of Commissioners for December 20th, 2016. I invite you to stand if you choose. We've invited Elder Todd Fugate, pastor of Faith Missionary Baptist Church, to lead us in our invocation. Pastor, we invite you up and invite you to remain standing as Commissioner Williams leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance afterwards.
For all wise and merciful Heavenly Father, Lord, we humbly come before you this morning or this evening and approach your throne of grace, dear God, and just ask your blessing, dear Lord, to be upon this body and upon their deliberations this afternoon, dear Lord, as they approach the endeavors of doing the business of conducting the business of the city, dear God. Father, we're thankful for these that you have allowed to be elevated, Lord, to positions of authority over this city, dear God, and we pray your blessing be upon the body as well. Father, be remiss, dear God, if we didn't mention and say thank you, Father, for the birth of your Son, Jesus, dear God, and the salvation of our souls that we have through his name, Lord, this time of year. As we celebrate that, we just ask you, Father, once again, forgive us where we fail you and fall short. These things we humbly ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Hill?
Here.
Commissioner Perigin?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Commissioner Denning?
Here.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Here. Any awards and recognitions?
I have none.
The only recognition I would like to make is the fact that we've put a small manger scene up here just to remind everybody of the season. I know we've had an article or two in the news about what's going on the square. We hope people understand that you have to read the whole article to understand that we still have a nativity scene on the square. The city put it up and is making a pretty big Christmas statement with all of the new lights that we have. Invite people to bring their children down like they used to at Three Springs and Beach Bend Park to enjoy our larger focus that we have at Christmas time. So Merry Christmas to you all. Any other comments, awards, or recognitions? Do you have any comments, Mr.
I do not, Mayor. Thanks for asking.
Well, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you all.
Have approval of the minutes on the regular meeting on December 6, 2016.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Perigin. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Please call the roll.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Denning?
Yes.
Wilkerson?
Yes. On regular meetings, we have time for public comments on any item that's not on tonight's agenda. If anybody would like to step forward and make a comment tonight. Seeing none, we'll go to the second reading of Ordinance BG 2016-40.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapters 2, Administration, and 27, Property Code of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to comply with amended statutory changes related to code enforcement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Denning. This is a second reading that we talked about last time. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Denning?
Yes.
Wilkerson?
Yes. Second reading of Ordinance BG 2016-41.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 4, Alcoholic Beverage Control of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to make administrative amendments related to changes in the Kentucky Revised Statutes.
So moved. Second.
By Hill, second by Perigin. Is there any further comments on the second reading? Please call the roll.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Denning?
Yes.
Wilkerson?
Yes. Ordinance BG 2016-42.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapters 2, Administration, 8, Cemeteries, 9, Crimes and Offenses, 13, Health, 15, Business and General Regulations, 20, Solid Waste Collection, and 23, Water and Sewer of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to make administrative revisions identified in the judicial review and to make other revisions removing obsolete or outdated language no longer applicable.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Williams. Again, second reading for these administrative changes on all three ordinances. Any further comments? Please call the roll.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Denning?
Yes.
Wilkerson?
Yes. Second reading of Ordinance BG 2016-43.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning 2 tracts of land containing 1.80 acres from HB Highway Business to RM4 Multifamily Residential, located at the north side of Audley Court, adjacent to Seymour Drive, presently owned by Cook Property Management, LLC.
So moved. Second.
By Hill and second by Perigin on the second reading. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes.
Second reading, ordinance number BG 2016-44.
Ordinance rezoning real estate, ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 2.49 acres from RS1A Single Family Residential to HB Highway Business located at 1125, 1129, 1133, and 1143 Fairview Avenue, 601 Green Lawn Avenue, and 604 Meadow Lawn Avenue, presently owned by Construction Design Management, LLC.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Perigin, second by Denning. Any further comments on the second reading? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Municipal Order 2016-268.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Kathleen W. Orndorff to the position of police officer in the police department.
So move.
Second?
Motion by Hill, second by Denning. Mr. Febo.
Thank you, Mayor. We're here tonight to complete a beginning that began a number of years ago when Ms. Orndorff applied to be a police officer with the Bowling Green Police Department. As things were, she was not able to complete the necessary training at the time, but later did and went to WKU. She's here to complete the dream and to be a Bowling Green police officer, so we wholeheartedly recommend her choice, and I believe she's here tonight.
Chief Wiles, did we check her out real well?
Joe, don't you know that most of the best police officers actually came from Western? You know that, don't you?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, I'm sure of that. We have a whole line.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir, we're happy for you. Congratulations. Thanks. Please call the roll.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes,
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2016-269.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Brooks P. Bennett to the position of irrigation spray technician in the Parks and Recreation Department.
So move.
Second.
Hill, second by Williams. Mr. DeFebo.
Thank you, Mayor. This is part of an ongoing, what appears to be an ongoing need for different positions in our golf department. Brooks, Mr. Bennett comes to us as from Valhalla, which I believe is in Louisville, and he wants to work for us. He's planning to get his turf management degree in January. We feel he's qualified, and we recommend his appointment. I'm not sure if Brooks is here. Michael says no, but he still wants the job.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2016-270.
Municipal order approving actions of city manager and accepting an emergency roof repair at Public Works Operations Division through Brakefield Roofing of Bowling Green, Kentucky in the amount of $27,000.
So move. Second.
Second by Perigin. Mr. DeFebo.
Thank you. A little while ago, we had a fairly large storm in Bowling Green. One of the victims of that weather event was our own Public Works Operation Division, which tore off the roof of one of our salt storage building. We had a similar event a number of years back in which we had to replace a similar roof, but not the same one. We've learned from our past repair that there's a certain technology that needs to be applied. We plan to apply the same technology that we did with the roof that was formerly blown off. The reason we're picking Brakefield Roofing is because they are the ones who responded quickly to our need before. Greg Meredith is here if you want more discussion on the roof or the system we're going to be using. Greg?
Comments or questions for me?
Break for a roof and good company. Been that way for many, many moons.
Do we do any Edmonson County engineering to the buildings to make sure they don't come up again? I'm doing that for Bobby's behalf. I know he's watching at home, so. Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Municipal Order 2016-271.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2017-31 for the purchase of 2 knuckle boom trucks from Tri-State International Trucks of Bowling Green Incorporated of Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the amount of $249,500.
So move.
Second.
Hill, second by Perigin. Mr. DeFebo.
Ever so often in this business, you all run up against terms of art. Tonight is one of them, knuckle boom. We're here to purchase 2 trucks with articulated arms and fingers to help us clear up storm damage. We've learned from past events when we have a significant storm that our one knuckle boom is not enough, and it would be helpful for us to have 2. So we took the opportunity this time because we had it in the budget for a regular truck, and we thought, okay, we can get a regular truck and a knuckle boom by just buying it. Greg is here if you want to have any questions about the knuckle boom truck.
Use those for,
Greg, you want to spend mission, please?
so the public knows what we're talking about.
Yes, Mayor. Actually, again, with the knuckle boom, it can
I
actually.
just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah,
that's all.
knuckle boom, I'm sorry. It actually reaches out and picks up limbs that have been cut or trees that have been cut and blocking the roadway. And what we run into, obviously, the last storm where it blew our roof off at operations, we had 12 to 15 locations where trees were down, and we needed to clear those roadways to allow emergency services, utilities, and such to get in. So with this additional functionality, this additional crew, we can run 2 crews at one time to remove storm damage from roadways. So that's where it's
Tell
coming from.
Greg that the 4 of my colleagues know nothing about engineering projects or heavy equipment.
Now, wait a minute.
Alrighty then.
Thank you.
But it's going to be a Christmas
So
night, so.
Are you going
Christmas
to
night.
are you going to end up with 3 trucks or 2 trucks?
Actually, two knuckle boom trucks, so 2 trucks that can pick up storm debris. The difference is there was an additional dump truck that was to be replaced, but because of the need, because of the timeliness of response to emergencies, we decided to make both of those trucks capable of removing storm debris, rather than just a plain dump truck.
Still trucks, but
They're
now
still
they
trucks.
have the ability to knuckle boom.
So we currently do not have one.
We have one currently.
So now we will have 3, as Rick said.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't.
Because this says we're buying 2.
We're buying 2. The one is being replaced. There's one that's older
Oh,
that's being
okay.
replaced.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So that, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments?
Got any questions?
Please call the roll.
Hill,
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Denning, Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2016-272.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting negotiations after sealed bidding for bid number 2017-23 for Crosswinds Lakes Rehabilitation from Scott and Ritter Incorporated of Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the amount of $777,185.70.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. As Kishman will remember, a number of months ago, we Brent presented to you the need to repair our lakes, 2 lakes at the Crosswinds Golf Course. We went to the public, we went to the golfers and asked them what they thought, and they all wanted us to replace it. So we went out to bid, and we had one bidder, Scott and Ritter. And the bid was over the amount we had allocated for the job, so we entered into negotiations, and from that negotiation, we are able to reduce the price down to what we believe is reasonable and needed. What was the trade-off? Matt Powell is here if you want a really detailed technical explanation. If not, I can provide that we changed the type of rock. Instead of a decorative rock around hole number 9, we're just using traditional riprap, which is good functionally, but maybe not as beautiful as ready rock, which we never had before. So that essentially is what we were able to do to bring it in, and we're looking forward to getting this started as we talked in the winter months, so that hopefully golfers will find little change in the winter, in the spring, excuse me. Greg's here, and as well as Matt Powell, if you have any questions.
A lot of money. We probably ought to let them explain a little
Okay,
bit.
Matt or Greg?
Everybody hears what we're spending it on.
I'm sorry?
Just make sure everybody knows what we're looking to spend this amount of money on.
Sound seems a little weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, it needs to be cut up. Everybody is
Breaking up, right?
talking through the nose or through something else. It needs to be cut up.
My fault, Joe, if I get up on
No,
one.
no. Where you at, you should be heard regardless of where one is seated, and that's not the case.
Okay, and so
Okay.
with the bid items, what we did to reduce the cost was, as Kevin said, was reduce what we call the decorative treatment around the edges of the ponds. The Ready Rock almost looks like a cut stone when it's placed. It looks like a stone wall with a capstone across it. So it gives a manicured look. On hole number 9, there are already some limestone rocks that are placed around as you finish the hole, as you approach the hole in the green on number 9, which is where the clubhouse is, kind of the signature hole of the course. What we did, rather than install the Ready Rock because of trying to reduce the overall contract price, was to reuse the rock there, those stones that are already there that we were going to dispose of and use in other places. We decided to negotiate with our one bidder to replace those and to try to make the look exactly like it was before we started. So, you know, the whole premise and purpose of the project is to keep the water in the lakes and to keep the appearance as it is now, both on hole number 2 lake and hole number 9. And so we're using and Matt can go into more detail, we're using a 60 millimeter thick HDPE fabric liner that will hopefully hold up better than the PVC liner which we had used previously.
Purpose of what we're doing is to repair 2 ponds or lakes on our course.
Yes.
That had failed and all of the drainage from that entire neighborhood goes to these ponds.
It does.
And we're trying to make sure that that does not become a problem for the entire neighborhood, because this is a lot of money just to fix a pond.
Exactly,
So it's
yes.
fixing the water retention areas for the entire community of Heartland. Yes.
Heartland as well as, you know, the area of the hotel from Scottsville Road drains that way in a large pipe, a 66-inch pipe on one side, a 36 on another that comes into hole number 9. And of course, there are dry wells there to take the excess water. And so what we want to do is prevent too much water from leaving the lake. So it's a combination, certainly stormwater, certainly safety, certainly aesthetics, but it all goes together to make a project that's necessary.
The rocks that are gonna be around the riffraff that's gonna be around the pond, are they gonna be tampered? What is gonna hold them in place?
Well, they'll be self-supporting based upon the angle that they'll be put in. It's about a 45-degree angle, so they, in and of themselves, won't roll. They won't go anywhere. They'll be stable around the edges of the pond. The fabric will come up and go over and then come down in a trench, and so that will hold the fabric in. And certainly it'll tie in just like it does now around the edges of the pond.
2 points. One relates to your comment, Mayor. We went through a discernment process to look at creating a large waste bunker. Matt, who has experience in this, was able to prove to us that that would be almost as expensive as the lake. So given the need for drainage in the greater area and the aesthetics of it, we'd all decided to go with lakes. And also, I'd like to publicly thank the Public Works Department, Matt Powell and Greg, to working collaboratively with our Park and Rec to make this happen. It wouldn't have been possible without Matt and others who got involved with it on the technical side. So I want to thank them publicly.
That's what I was trying to do so inarticulately. It's as much a stormwater
Yes.
project as it is a pond project for the golf course, so.
Yeah, it's just not for the golfers.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Ordinance, first reading of ordinance BG 2016-45.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 2.1893 acres from HB Highway Business to PUD Planned Unit Development located at 259 Greenwood Lane, presently owned by DMM Investments LLC.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Williams. First reading of a rezoning passed by the Planning and Zoning Commission on a 10-0 vote, or unanimous vote. I don't know if it's 10 or 8-0. Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. First reading of ordinance BG 2016-46.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 0.5165 acre from RM3 multifamily residential to RM4 multifamily residential located at 201, 214, and 220 Cherry Way, presently owned by Jason and Dina Mills and Jade Ventures LLC.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Perigin. Again, a first reading of a rezoning ordinance that was passed unanimously by the Planning Commission. Are there any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. First reading of ordinance BG 2016-47.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 6.71 acres from RM4 multifamily residential NB neighborhood business and PUD planned unit development to PUD planned unit development located at 0, 1212 and 1216 Adams Street, 0 and 1235 Kentucky Street, and 1313 Center Street, presently owned by Yellowfin Investments LLC, Brookside, Kentucky LLC, and Joe Deemer.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill and second by Williams. And a unanimous reading by the Planning Commission and with their notes and minutes here for us to review. Are there any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. First reading of ordinance BG 2016-48.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 1.1347 acres from GB General Business to PUD Planned Unit Development located at 515 and 529 Chestnut Street and 0 East 6th Avenue, presently owned by Douglas Gorman and Norman Burks, care of Jana Shannon, with Rogers Real Estate Holdings LLC as contract vendee.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Denning. Again, first reading with the unanimous vote with 8 members present for the Planning Commission. Are there any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2016-273.
Municipal order approving an amendment to the 5-year consolidated plan for community development block grant entitlement funding and authorizing its submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Williams. Mr. DeFebo.
Thank you, Mayor. As the commission knows, we are an entitlement community pursuant to HUD regulations, have to come up with a consolidated plan anytime we're going to spend their money. And we need to do that on a 5-year basis. As we talked at retreat, we wanted to make some subtle changes to how we do a CDBG funding. Before, we used to take part of the money for our neighborhood investment area and pass out some to other agencies, then use part of it for admin and part of it for housing complaints. This year, we want to make a significant change, in our opinion, and put 80% of our money into the reinvestment area that Brent has been doing over the last couple of years and use the remaining 20% for fair housing and administration. We think it's the right move. We feel that to do otherwise would be to be counter to our whole reinvestment strategy. Brent's here if you would like to hear repeat quickly of that strategy.
Comments or questions? We've had the public hearings a couple of times here, 3 times. Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2016-274.
Municipal order authorizing the submission of an application for brownfields assessment funds to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in an amount up to $300,000.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Perigin. Mr. Febo.
In any community I've been, and we can see it repeated here, there are in places in the community abandoned industrial sites that represent real problems for future economic development and job creation. Often these sites could be contaminated. We're here tonight to ask you to allow us to apply for up to $300,000 to do a survey of the abandoned sites that could be in our community. And with that survey, we'd be able to know where we're going and what we need to do to get some of these properties back in the game. Nick Cook, who is the architect of the application, is here if you have any questions.
Nick, will you approach the bench, please? Can you give us an idea of where these tracks are based on their numbers? Just a few. Track 101, where is that?
Census Tract 101?
Yes.
It's going to be in this downtown core area. Basically, you have a cluster of census tracts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then Census Tract 112, which is half county and half city. It's all going to be our core downtown area. 105 is going to be more the college area that extends over to our NCS department. 101, 102, 103 is going to start downtown and kind of move north towards the west end.
Give Joe an example of maybe a building or a piece of property that he knows and you know could be suffering from contamination. Is that-
Benchmark, give me a
Yeah.
benchmark.
Well, basically, you have streets like Power Street that
Yes.
used to have a lot of industrial sites, power-type industries over in that area. Over the years, you have abandoned industrial sites that are, several decades old, could have lead-based paint, asbestos, things of that nature. So really, and there's no guarantee that these things are there. What we would like to do is either find out, A, they're there, or remove the perception that they're there, so to hopefully foster the redevelopment process for these properties.
Thank you, sir.
Other comments or questions?
That was not a setup. I wasn't trying to set you up. I was just trying to figure out where you were talking about based on the numbers.
All right, thanks.
Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin. Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. First reading of ordinance BG 2016-49.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances, ordinance amending Chapter 11, Finance, Taxation, and Economic Development, and Chapter 18, Occupational License Fees and Taxes of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to make administrative revisions identified in the judicial review and to make other revisions to remove obsolete or outdated language.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Perigin. Mr. DeFebo.
This is a generalized update of these chapters. It might be helpful if you have any questions to direct those to Gene Harmon, who can answer any questions along with Jeff.
Might have any comments or questions?
I'm going to comment that Gene's been busy updating all these ordinances.
I will pass the buck on this one. This is mainly Katie and Jeff, but I'll be glad to answer questions.
Just clean up language, getting it in line with current law. So we had this opportunity to review these and ask questions beforehand as well. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2016-275.
Municipal order approving the termination of a lease agreement for 1240 Fairview Avenue and authorizing the city attorney to provide notice to Trax Running LLC of the city's intent not to renew the lease agreement.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Denning.
Thank you, Mayor. As we talked previously, it's our desire to no longer rent the property at 1240 Fairview Avenue. The current lease has been problematic, and we discovered that it'd probably be in the city's best interest not to be a landlord and provide this place for rent, but rather to use it as either parking or green space for the park. Little Brent's and Disney World. So we're going to have to handle ourselves. Gene, any questions, any answers or comments?
No, just simply the lease is on an annual basis. It expires March the 1st. It annually renews, but it at least gives us an opportunity to provide 30-day advance notice of our intent not to renew. That's what this municipal order does, authorize me to write them the letter telling them that we are not going to renew on March 1st.
Comments or questions?
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. And municipal order 2016-276.
Municipal order authorizing and approving the City of Bowling Green facility usage rules and regulations.
So move.
Second.
Hill, second by Perry.
Thank you, Mayor. A number of months ago, a number of departments, primarily Police Department, Fire Department, NCS, did put together a team to look at the rules, fees, and regulations under which we make various city property available to rent. From that distillation process, it was the opinion of both police and fire that in a post 9/11 world that we not make our public safety buildings available for public use. Especially in the fire department, it is also the residents, and it's difficult to manage people in and out. We do have other property, primarily at NCS, that has a large conference room, and we have come up with rules and regulations concerning that. If you would like to hear some of Brent's comments about that, he is here and itching to share those with you.
Itching because he's growing his November beard still. So.
Can I ask, thank you, sir. Approach the bench. Couple of things.
Yes, sir.
In the case of your building and community people want to utilize that conference room, is it in any of your writings that we, the city of Bowling Green, have a staff person during that activity, regardless of what it is, in the building?
No.
Who's
Not
in
required.
charge?
We're leasing them that space for that period of time, so we don't have a staff person there. Whenever we designed 707 East Main, we designed it so that it could be used for that purpose under that principle. We have to make one change. We have to put one of the access control locks in our kitchen. I've already swapped the lock around to where we can lock it from the hallway side to keep the employee side separate from the public side, but we never intended to have a staff person there. Parks does require that, but Parks also has multiple facilities and 200 part-time people that they can assign out. I don't have those types of resources for it. So for us to be able to make this available on evenings and weekends, we have to say, okay, we're not going to have a staff person there. So we never intended to have a staff person there.
So the person in charge or the entity in charge is that particular organization?
That's correct at that time. And that's also part of why now we would be requesting a fee deposit and to rental for that, for the use of that. If you look at our rules and regulations of how we set them up for our building, it's all based on the relationship with the city. So if you're a city department, we don't need a deposit because you're one of us. You're a department. You're a city staff member. Or if you're just a city staff renting it, you know, you're one of us. We have someone to go back to. But as that relation separates and you become more of just an outside organization that needs space, that's where the deposit kicks in. That's where the rental kicks in. So that we have somebody. We're just trying to keep somebody honest in using that space. But we designed that for that purpose.
What happens when that one person out there says, well, we're paying taxes, how come we have to pay a fee for this conference room for 2 hours?
I understand that, but it's also common to use the asset of the city for those types of purposes. If you want to rent a shelter, if you want to rent a park, if you want to rent many of our public facilities, you have to pay some sort of fee on that. There's also many organizations in town, much smaller organizations. I'm not talking about the Nicely Center, the Convention Center, that charge for their rentals, and we also don't want to take away from them because they're dependent on that money. we're not as dependent on that $50 as some of those other organizations are for going back for the operation and maintenance of their facility. So we intended for this to be a community place, for a place where neighborhood groups or even now our international groups are, we're the only department in this city that's out here actively trying to organize people and trying to work towards making things by organizing. So, we have a little bit different philosophy when it comes to room rentals versus some of the other places.
Good response.
And those fees would go to, cover cleanup and electric bills.
They're going to go
and-
back into the general fund to just cover the overall
There's some
cost.
expense involved
There
with
is.
having.
And looking at this, whenever we were going through this, and if you've ever dealt with room rentals, I know Commissioner Perigin is very familiar with this. You look at some places, you're charged for everything. I remember in my previous employment, if you want to make a pot of coffee, that was $5. If you wanted to use the computer, that's $10. We didn't want to get into all that. We just wanted a flat rate, make it simple, make it straightforward, and let's just charge something to keep somebody honest and keep the deposit out there as more of a carrot than anything. All right, any other questions? I'll sit down. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Kevin Wiles is here if you would like to hear a perspective from public safety, or I can provide that perspective if necessary.
By what, Kevin?
Public safety, whether you feel you need an explanation of, we would limit public safety to public safety departments and not open it to the public. Are you all okay with
I
that?
have no problem with that.
Okay.
Questions or comments? Kevin, appreciate it. All right, please call the roll.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Denning.
Yes,
Wilkerson.
Yes. Our next scheduled meeting is January 3rd, so I'll give our commissioners a moment to issue their Christmas greetings if they choose. We'll start with Ms. Perigin. We're going left to right this time.
Youngest to oldest.
beg your pardon. I didn't hear that.
Youngest to oldest.
I can take it.
I'd like to wish the citizens of Bowling Green, Kentucky a very blessed and Merry Christmas, and I hope everybody has just the best holiday season they've ever had. Get down to the park, bring your kids, shop down at the square, shop out in the community, but just remember the reason for the season. Merry Christmas.
As a proud member of this community, I do want to thank the citizens for giving us another opportunity to continue to serve them. And with that said, I also want to make sure that they understand that now is a great time to celebrate this season that's in front of us. We hope everybody has a very safe and enjoyable holiday, and I personally want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
The oldest one comes in now? I'm sorry. I just want to say to the citizens of Bowling Green, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And one of the great things I think about living in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I've said it many times before, we have a town to where one can live, be safe, raise a family, and really just have a great life experience. It hasn't always been that way in Bowling Green for everyone, but we've come a long way in a few years. So to all, happy holiday. And I want to say, I don't know where I was supposed to or not, but I am. I've got the mic. To my friend and colleague, Commissioner Hill, we're going to miss you. I think, and I think I've told you this over the years, you are a class act. And it's been a pleasure for me to sit here beside you for the past years. I've enjoyed every minute of it, except when you kicked me on my ankles. Other than that, you are my friend, and you will always be my friend until the day I die. And I wish you well, and I know I'll be seeing you. I know I'll be eating out to your house sometime, and I wish you the very best.
We'll let Melinda have the last word, but I get to say too, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But I truly enjoyed serving with you, Melinda, and you'll be missed around here. It's not because Slim's coming in, it's because you're going away. I know he'll challenge me on that comment, but we've had a good time, and I've enjoyed working with you regardless of what our decisions were. That's how we operate. A different opinion is just that. It's just a different opinion. So, Merry Christmas, and I miss you. Now, the floor is yours.
It has indeed been an honor to serve on this commission. As I tried to say earlier at our reception and got choked up, this city's in great shape. We have a great city manager, great chief financial officer, attorney, assistant city manager, great mayor, great commissioners. 2017 is going to be another great year for this community. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Close the meeting. Thank you.